Hi everyone, welcome back to The Other Side of Music.
Hey,
Today
hello,
is
hello,
our guest is Malik Long. Hi Malik.
hello, everyone. How y'all doing?
Good, good. Thanks for taking time out today to do the podcast.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you for inviting me. Yes,
Good. So you ready for my questions?
Y- yes, I'm ready. I'm ready. Whatever questions you want to ask me.
Okay. So how did you come up with the name Cool Brother Podcast?
Uh, well, that name started back in when I was in high school. Um, people used to call some people used to call me Cool Ass Malik, and then another high school student that I graduated with called me Cool Brother Number One, and it was a nice ring to it. So I said, "Hey, I'm gonna call myself Cool Brother," and it just stuck. So
Okay. All
yes,
right.
yes.
How did you get started with podcasting?
I got started with podcasting back in September 2020. That was during the height of the pandemic era, and I was inspired by these two good brothers that I know from New York. They did this podcast called the Rap Lab Podcast, and I was inspired to do one. I said to myself, "Hey, let me start a podcast," and I did my very first episode. I did my very first interview back in I think October or November of that same year, and it's been going strong ever since. My podcast is on Music Roundtable app. Shout out to Mr. Randy, and also Scarfire Media. Shout out to Megan. And I got merchandise courtesy of Scarfire Media for my podcast, and yeah, it's been going strong ever since. And 1,000 interviews later, I'm still doing it, still
Wow.
interviewing, still rocking the interviews and being the host. Yes,
Wow. So how
yes.
many interviews did you
How many
have?
interviews?
Like a guesstimate.
Uh, I'll probably say like 100.
Wow. That's a
Definitely got
lot
to
of
be
time.
100. Yeah, yeah, yes, definitely 100 for sure.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Now, I have noticed that you've been doing more hosting of events. How did you
hmm
get into that? And is that
Uh,
new?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question?
Oh, how did you get into that? And is that fairly new for you?
Yes, it's fairly new to me. Um, Annie Mae and her band, Rhythm of the Night Fusion Band, was looking for a host, and I said, "Hey, I would like to be a host," and she said, "All right, you could be the host." And I hosted a couple of events that they was performing at, and also did hosting at the Forge, moving the crowd,
Hmm.
and I'm going to be hosting the first ever Hot Mag Online Radio Award Show with Miss Tara J. Shout out to Tara J. Shout out to Hot Mag Online Radio. But yeah, it was just another way to express myself. Another way to express myself. Yes.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Um, and so in all of this, you also sing. So how long have you been singing?
I've been singing since back in elementary school. I was in the choir back in the fourth and fifth grade. When I went to middle school and high school, I took a break from it. I wasn't part of the choir or anything. Didn't sign up for it. After I graduated, I decided that I want to take vocal lessons. I had my very first performance back in June of 2004 at the this place called the Clef Club Jazz of Philadelphia, in Philly, of course. And I've just been performing ever since and taking vocal lessons ever since.
Okay. And so that makes me ask, are you not originally from Pittsburgh?
No, I'm originally from Philadelphia.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So, well, then I'm going to jump a couple questions ahead then. How do
Okay.
you feel music scene compares to Philly to Pittsburgh?
Well, when I was in Philly, I wasn't involved in the music scene. I wasn't going out performing and all that. I was just performing like every once in a blue moon. But here, it's cool. It's cool. I just feel like there'd be some aspects that could be better. As far as like events is concerned. like with your event is cool because it's organized. It's it's professionalism to the 10th power. Also another event called Moving the Crowd, which I co-hosted. Shout out to DJ Chevy and shout out to Mr. Abel. They are the founders of Moving the Crowd. That too was at the Forge every Tuesday. Their event was organized and professional. So yeah, some of these events needs more professionalism, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um, you are just like two steps ahead of me today because that was another one of my questions was what do you think could improve in the Pittsburgh music scene? How could it, you know?
yeah. Like I mentioned, definitely professionalism. If the show starts at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, all artists should come before 8 o'clock. Come around like 7 or 6:30 just to get set up, get yourself together. All artists should come before the the official time.
Oh, yeah.
But some artists don't do that, and that's why the events be starting late because the artists don't be showing up. They be showing up late, and it's like what in the world? Like, come on, get it together. Some of y'all artists, just show up when if it's at 8 o'clock. Show up around 7 o'clock. Show up around 6:30. Show up around 6. Like if I'm an artist and the show starts at 8 or 9, I'm gonna show up around 7:30 or 8 o'clock. If it starts at 9, I'm gonna show up around 7:30, 8 o'clock, just to get
Yeah.
myself together and do what I have to do. Keep myself centered. But some of these artists show up whenever they want to show up, and they wonder why. You know, they wonder why the time has changed. The time has changed regarding starting this event,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like because you don't show up on time, y'all be late.
Mm.
Your tardiness.
I'm a stickler on that one.
Yes, yes, yes,
This will
ma'am.
be the
Yes,
second show that you're in with. Um,
yes.
and I'm like, boom, this is the time
Hmm.
you need to be there.
Yeah, yes, yes.
But
See,
everybody shows up.
yeah,
And
yeah, definitely,
yeah, so we're all ready. Um,
definitely.
so yeah, I also, what do you think about like, I don't want to use the word gatekeeping, but things aren't shared in the music industry as well as they should. Like I'm currently speaking to, well, a new artist to me. And he just won an award. He won a talent competition.
Hmm.
And I'm like, what talent competition? And I asked several people about it and they had never heard of it. Like things like that. Like it needs to be shared more or
Yeah, I do agree. As far as talent competition, I'm all for participating in talent competition, but it has to mean something to me. Like, am I going to win something? Am I going to win a trophy or going to win a cash prize? Like with these talent competitions and showcases, I'm not knocking some of the promoters that do it, but it's like I used to do these showcases to pay to play. I don't do it no more because I just feel like I'm not getting nothing out of it. All right, if I'm getting something out of it, if it's like a cash prize or or a trophy, okay, yeah, I would spend like $20 to perform. But if I'm just paying just to perform, then no, that's not good because like there was an event, one of the events, not Uncut James, because that was a dope event, but there was another event that was happening, and a lot of people was talking about it on their Facebook page how it was unprofessional and you know and I was talking to one of the performers on Sunday, this past Sunday. She said there was 70 performers performing. Yeah, that's what she said, 70. And I'm like, what? Are you serious? 70 performers performing. And I asked her, well, what time did you leave? She said she left at 2 o'clock. And I'm like 2 in the morning. I'm like, what in the world? Like 70 performers. That is insane. And it's like, so y'all spend $20 just to perform 70 artists. And also, you know, there was a lot of artists that was like coming up on the list because they was paying the promoter to say, "Hey, I'll pay you this. Can I pay you this to be next?" Which I'm not a
really?
fan of that. Yeah, really. This according to her, I wasn't there, but
Whoa.
that's what she told me, and I feel like that's not cool because I feel like there should be a set list and a set time for each performer to perform. Nobody should have to go above the line, go above the list just to perform, right then and there. They got to follow protocol. And
Yeah.
I just feel like, if you're gonna perform, if you're a promoter and you throwing on an event and you asking people to perform, there should be a certain amount of people to perform and there should be a set time and set list. If they don't show up at that particular time, go to the next performer. And that next performer don't show up, go to the next performer. Keep it like that, just to keep it going. Now, if that performer shows up, shows up late, they just have to wait their turn. That's how I feel because it's like you holding up the event, and that's not right for the artists that already there. You know what I'm saying?
Plus 70 people. That's a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah. I mean, it could have been 70 people. I'm just going by what she informed me, and I was talking to de-identification because I told him about it, and he agreed with her about the 70 people. I told him about de-identification because he was one of the performers as well.
Oh.
So, yeah, he performed too, but yeah, it was just according to him, it was just a mess. And I would have went. I would have went just to show support for de-identification. But if I ain't had that uncut jams, I would have went. But I was gonna pay $20 to perform, especially with all those people that's performing. No way, nah, no, thank you. Yeah,
That's a lot.
yeah.
All right. Well, are you, when you sing, are you part of a band or are you solo all the time?
Yeah, I'm part of a group, part of the group, and I'm solo. You know what I'm saying? I do both. I do definitely do both. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what's the name of the band that you perform with sometimes?
Um, Forever Fusion.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Um, and what kind of style is that?
R&B, 90s R&B. You know, today's songs. Yeah, just the typical usual. But we branch out as far as songs is concerned. So yes.
Um, so what song inspired you one day when you were younger to say, this is what I want to do?
Hmm. I can't just pick one to be honest with you. There's a lot of songs. There's a lot of songs. I will say there was artists that inspired me to do what I'm doing right now. Um, The Temptations, Michael Jackson, New Edition, Smokey Robinson, Ralph Tresvant. When I sing, a lot of people say I either sound like Ralph Tresvant from New Edition or Smokey Robinson. I would lean towards Ralph Tresvant. That's just me. But yeah, those are the artists that inspired me to do what I'm doing right now for sure.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
So, how many hats do you have? Every
I'm
time I see you, you're wearing a hat.
uh
How many hats do you
yeah.
wear?
I got more than 10. More than 10. More than 10. Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, more than 10.
You're always so dapper looking.
Thank
So
you.
I figured you must have a lot of hats and a lot of suits.
Yeah, I do got a lot of hats and a lot of suits and a lot of blazers for sure. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Um, that's pretty awesome.
Thank
So
you.
I always have to laugh because I always see these great photos of you. Do you have a personal photographer that follows you around or
No, 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 I do not. I do not. No, I do not. Nope.
because you
No, I
have
do
some
not.
of the most professional looking pictures? And I'm like, someone must always be with him.
Yeah, no, no. I just like to take photos, do photo shoots. So yeah. Shout out to the photographers that did the photos for me. Shout out to Sweater Bob, shout out to Monet Dupree Johnson, shout out to Ridgely, shout out to Ashley, anybody that took a photo, shout out to Mr. William Pittman. Those were the people that took photos of me for my photo shoots, various photo shoots throughout the 412. Yes.
Okay, okay. Um, so who is your how did you get your style inspiration? Like was there a person that
Oh
kind of
yeah.
inspired your style?
Yes, yes. My uncle Derek, he was in a group, a clique called GQ, back in the 70s and 60s and the 70s. I would say in the 70s. Yeah, 60s, 70s. And every time they meet up, they always dress in the nicest three-piece, two-piece suits. And I saw how they dress, and I was inspired, and I said, "Hey, I want to dress like them." And I've been dressing like that ever since. Like 90% of the time, if I'm out at an event, 90% of the time I'm even dressed in a suit or a blazer. If
Yep.
somebody didn't see me in a suit, they're like, "Oh my goodness, man! Damn, I ain't recognize you because normally you be wearing a suit." I say, "Yeah, I'm on my off day right about now." Yeah, yes.
So, do you have any goals for your podcast, like future goals, or
Uh,
you
uh, I would
doing it?
say doing more interviews, of course, doing more live, in person interviews. Also, quite possibly do like interviews with famous artists. More merchandise, and yeah. That's my goals. Will that happen? Will that transpire? Who knows? Only time will tell.
Right. It'll take
Yeah.
time. I think you'll get there.
Yes, thank you.
Um. So, what was your favorite toy as a kid?
Oh, GI Joe for sure.
Oh, well, that was a fast answer.
Yes, yes.
And what did you want to be when you grew up?
I wanted to be a train conductor, ride the trains,
Okay.
drive the trains. Yes, that's what I wanted to be when I grew up. I had a huge fascination with trains. Yes,
Okay. All
yes.
right. Do you remember the show In Living Color?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Yes.
I just knew I was going to grow up to be a fly girl.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes.
I'm far from.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes.
So, tell me about any upcoming events you have.
Well, the 6 degrees of hip hop. Even though I'm not a hip hop artist, I'm a vocalist. But that's coming up this upcoming Saturday from 8 to 10, right? 8 to 10, 8 to 11,
11.
8 to 11. Another event in April performing shout out to DJ KK Candy Kasha Williams, DJ KK. She having an event an after hours event on Penn Avenue, downtown Pittsburgh. I think that's on April the 25th, I believe, from
Okay.
10 to 2. I had to check the flyer, but yeah, that's my two upcoming performances.
Okay.
But
Um,
between that, I'm sorry, but between that, and also the invitation to the gala event, yeah, for sure. But other than that, it's wide open.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And how can people find you?
They can find me on Facebook, Malik Long. Also, I got a page for my podcast, the Cool Podcast with the Cool Brother. I took a break from Instagram. Instagram Cool Malik 82, but I deactivated it. I might get on this month or next month, who knows? But yeah, they can find me and follow me on Malik Long or the Cool Podcast with the Cool Brother via Facebook.
Okay. All right. So,
Yes.
anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, I just want to say shout out to y'all. Shout out to the 412 people that embrace me in their community. Me being from Philly, 215. So yeah, Pittsburgh is a dope city, and I believe in the music scene here in the 412, and I would love to continue to collaborate with such as yourself, Miss Robert. If you have another event in the works, I'd definitely like to be a part of it as a performer.
If you know I do.
Okay, cool, cool. Yes,
You know, I'm always
yes.
working on stuff behind the scenes.
All right. Yes.
Just staying quiet until after this show's over,
Gotcha. Gotcha.
and I will be hitting you guys up. Worry about
O-
that.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
So,
Yes.
yeah, that's all I have for you. And I'm gonna add a couple of your songs onto the end of this interview, so
Mm-hmm.
everybody hear that once the video part is done, stay on because you're gonna get to hear some of Malik's music.
Yes.
And if you would like to see Malik in person, if you don't already know who he is, come on down to the Forge on Saturday because that'll be a lot of fun,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
Well,
ma'am.
thank you for being on my podcast. That was
Thank you for
fun.
having me. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
well, I guess I'll see you on Saturday.
Oh yeah, you will see me. Yes, yes, ma'am.
All right, great. Have a good
Um,
day.
you too.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.